Hello everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another cross-stitching video. In this video, I will be working from my advent calendar and there's only, 5 more boxes for me to work from, and every day I will be picking a box, and in that box there is a cross-stitching project and a yarn for me to make a granny square, which I am behind on the granny squares. I need to catch up. Anyways, today is December 20th, so we will be picking the 20th, and we will see what I end up getting for today. I won't have a ton of stitching time today and tomorrow because I am going to be seeing family. So today's chart is Epic Pokemon, which is from Lord Libidin. This is a free chart that you can find on, I think it's just Lord Libidin, his website. So I will grab this so we can see my starting point. I am stitching, I think it's, Gen 1 Pokemon, because they have all the different generations. There was actually one, I think that's like all of them together, which I thought was really cool, but you would need a huge piece of fabric. And so I was like, I don't think I want to do that. So here is Gen 1. I have like barely any progress put into this chart. I will admit it. I started this in Flossmas a couple years ago, and this is all that I have started. Just this little corner. I don't think I even have page 1 fully finished. It's a baby start. So I need to really work on this more eventually. I need to make plans to rotate through projects better. This is on a 28 count 2/1 half cross, and I will try and get some stitchy time on that today. And then the yarn that was picked was this blue and green variegated. I have used it before, I think in my last video, so I will grab that out. And I actually have already started putting a bunch of yarns into a bag to take to my parents' house because I will hopefully be able to make some squares there because I can easily, make a square and talk. So I just put this is the color that was picked today, this one right here. And I just put a bunch of the yarns in here because I am really behind. So, and I have my crochet hook, I also have, scissors, and I have a darning needle. So if I want to weave in ends, because I'm behind on weaving in ends. It happens. I still have sweaters that I wear that don't have ends weaved in, if I'm being honest. Weaving in ends, I don't hate it. It's just, it takes a long time, But I really don't hate it. I was doing it the other day on some of my granny squares. And before I used to always complain the weaving in the ends, but you can easily do it while you're watching a show. But if you're too tired to stitch, but you want to still be doing something with your hands, it's an easy thing to do. So I really should just go through and find my sweaters that need the ends woven in and just pull them all out and start doing that. So that can be a finished project. But I will be back tomorrow for December 21st. Hello everyone and welcome to Monday, December 22nd. I did skip filming yesterday, which was the 21st, because I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of stitchy time, and so I was like, there's no point in picking a project that I know I won't be able to work on, because I went to see my family, which we had a great time. We saw The Housemaid on Saturday, and I'm going to say this. We all enjoyed the book, and that movie it was kind of not what we expected, but we all really liked it. It was just the book, it's like a psychological thriller. There's twists and turns and things, unexpected things happen. And then the movie ended up having a lot of funny parts, and we weren't sure if it's supposed to be funny or what, but yeah, we were laughing at quite a few of the parts. Especially towards the end. There's a part where something happens to the guy, and then, it's funny. And it was funnier than we thought it would be. But yeah, it was really good. There was a lot of people in the theater that were also laughing and just having a good time, especially because it's a book, it's going to happen. So there was a couple times where I heard people that were sitting around us, and they were like, it's that's what they think. And so we all kind of knew that there were things that were going to happen. So it was really good. I enjoyed it. And we have picked our next book club book. So I'm going to have a book to read in January, which I think the book we picked is Pretty Girls by Karen Slater. Slaughter? I don't remember. So we picked our book club book yesterday when we had our little Christmas celebration, which was very fun. And then we also played, my brother had some board games, and we played a game called, I think it was Here to Slay, and I won. That was a fun time. I usually don't win at games. Like whenever we play Catan at home with my kids, I always lose. And I think part of it is I'm too generous because you can trade resources in the game, and so my kids will be like, oh, does anyone have this? And I'm like, I guess we can trade. Yeah, sure, why not? And then being nice doesn't pay off. So yeah, Christmas was good. We picked our book club books. We also picked a book club book for February because we had 2 books that we were thinking of for January. And then we were like, what if for February we do like a Valentine's love theme? And one of them was more like a lovey sounding book. So we already have our book club books picked. And so I have things that I need to read because I've kind of fallen behind reading in the last couple of weeks. I haven't really read a lot. I have been kind of stuck reading this one book because it's pretty long, The Sword of Kaigan. And it's really, I'm enjoying it so far. It's just long and I haven't given a lot of time to reading. So yeah, I've kind of fallen behind in reading. So I do need to get back to reading, especially in January. Anyways, so what I'm planning on doing for my Advent stuff, because Pokemon chart. This was the chart I had picked for Saturday. I did 140 stitches. And at first I was like, I will just put it away and then go to my next project, for Sunday. And I decided I will keep this out and try and get it to 500 stitches. So it still needs another, 3 something on it. And the area I was working on was right in here. I still have the needle there. Was right in here. I just wanted easy stitches, and this blue background was an easy way to get some stitches in. So I'm going to keep this out and keep working on it, and I'm going to be playing catch up on my Advent again like I did last week. So today I am going to pick the 21st box, and we will see what chart that is. And then tomorrow I will pick 2 boxes again, and then we'll try and get caught up. So that's the plan for right now, is trying to get caught up, which I should be able to, I think, because I don't really have a lot that I have to do. Because I saw my family already over the weekend, I will be staying home for Christmas Eve and Christmas, and I have all the Christmas presents here, except there's a couple things that need to be delivered and then a couple things that need to be wrapped, but everything that I currently have is wrapped, and the only thing I need for Christmas dinner is a couple things that are like fresh that you need to get fresh. So I think I'm ready. So the next few days I can just watch Christmas movies and do some stitching. So that's the plan. And my chart for the 21st was Christmas 2, which is by Ciro Marchetti, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. So I will get to do 500 stitches on that. The yarn that is picked was this ball, so I will add that just to my bag of yarns because I put all the yarns into a nicer bag. So I have all the yarns in here, and I think I'm just going to start grabbing yarns out and just start making squares with them. I did make 3 squares when I was at my parents' house. I made this one using one of my self-striping yarns, and it's funny because this area here with the colorful colors is the Christmas Vacation one because it was a self-striping Christmas movie yarn. So that was the Christmas Vacation stripe, which is fun. It's all colorful. But this square, when I started doing it and it went to like rainbow colors and then dark, was like, to me, Wednesday square. I haven't actually really watched I watched season 1 of Wednesday. And so yeah, that's like, what's the one girl? Enid, I think. And then Wednesday, because like there's like that window that's rainbow and then black for Wednesday. And then I made this square using the same self-striping yarn, and then I also made this square. So we have a few different squares made. I did make 3, which, wasn't a lot, but it's better than 0. And I think today my yarn is finally supposed to be here because I had ordered yarn for the border of my squares, and I had also ordered a new crochet hook because I wanted one of those ones with like an ergonomic handle, and the crochet hook that I currently am using, which I think I'm using a size E, which is let me find it. I am using, it is an E, you probably won't be able to see it because it's reflective. It's an E4, which is a 3.5 millimeter. So that's the hook I'm using. It's tiny, but this was the larger size of the recommended for fingering weight yarn. I think the recommended crochet hook size for fingering weight yarn was like a C to an E, and I was like, I'm gonna go with the biggest because I had this, number one, I don't think I had the smaller size hook, and number two, I was like, I don't want to be using the tiniest little hook, that would hurt my hands. But yeah, I'm supposed to be getting my crochet package today. It was from crochet.com, which is Knit Picks crochet website. So they are owned by like the same people, but one is knitting themed and one is crochet themed. And what ended up happening with the package is it was supposed to be delivered like 2 weeks ago, I think. It was supposed to be delivered on the 8th. And UPS has not scanned it since the 8th, where it said out for delivery and then it said delivery attempted. And then I called them and they said that it was supposed to be delivered with USPS because it was a mail innovations package. And they said that they dropped it off at USPS and USPS is saying they don't have it. And so basically the package is, you know, in the void. Who knows where it is? And so I ended up contacting crochet.com and being like, my package did not arrive, and they reshipped out the package. And they also, I didn't ask for it or anything, but I think because of, you know, the season, they assumed it was a Christmas gift, which I guess it could be a Christmas gift for myself. And they said they would ship it out with faster shipping, so it would be here by Christmas. So it's supposed to be here today, and I'm excited to use that new crochet hook because it's an ergonomic one. It's also like, I think, a wood one because I liked the colors on it. So I've never used a wood hook before, so we'll see how that goes. I know some people don't like them because they're not as slippery as metal, so we will see. You know, it's an experiment, but I am excited to have that finally come because that crochet hook I'm using right now is bent, and so it kind of like twists while I am trying to go, and so it just makes things more difficult than they should be. But yeah, I need to find Christmas too. I just realized I never showed my Christmas to a starting point, and then I will go and start get crafting, which I am still drinking coffee. If I am stumbling around, it's because I still have coffee to drink, and so I am not caffeinated yet. So here is Christmas 2, artwork by Ciro Marchetti and charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I think today I will work more in this section here where there's like the bow, and then there is the fabric for like some like curtains or something. So that's where I will be working, and I will see you all tomorrow with hopefully an update on these two charts. Welcome back. It is now December 23rd. It is the day before Christmas Eve, and I managed to get my stitching done on Epic Pokemon Gen 1, which I will show first. So I think I did another 400 stitches on this, and I was stitching over in this area here, and I think the Pokemon over here is Dratini, possibly. I think that's what it is. We will see. I do need to get more stitching done on it though, so it's like more clear what it is, but that was fun that every time you stitch on this, you're basically getting to stitch on like a new Pokemon, so that's always fun to see. And then I did my 500 stitches on Christmas 2, which is here. And I did some more of the bow, the orange. I also did some pink, which is the fabric hanging down. And then I did some of the black around the bow. So that was my 500 stitches on this piece. And then I made more granny squares, which I got my hook yesterday, so that was exciting. It's a wood hook, but I loved the colors on it, and so far I am enjoying it. It is less slippery than the metal hooks, but it's nice so far, and I like that the handle is thicker so it's easier to hold and more comfortable. Yesterday I made 4 granny squares, so I made a plain one with the yarn I picked yesterday. I made one with the yarn I picked yesterday in the center, another one with that yarn in the center, and then this one was just some that I pulled out of the bag. And so yesterday I made 4. Previously, so far this month, I have made 26. So then with the 4 that I made yesterday, I am currently at 30 squares so far for this month, which I'm kind of behind where I wanted to be because I was hoping that I could make 2 squares a day. So I should have more, but hopefully I can, you know, get caught up. Plus I can keep doing this after Christmas is over. So now I will pick my projects for today, and today I'm going to be picking 2 boxes again because I am behind from this weekend. So I'm going to be picking the 22nd and the 23rd today. So I'm going to take both those boxes right now, and on the 22nd the project is Mini Masquerade Pale Dawn, which is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And my yarns are a neutrally one, and then this blue is off of the variegated blue and green yarn that I have. So I'll grab that in a little bit. And then the project for the 23rd is Cozy Winter Book Nook, which is artwork by Rose Kahn, charted by Pain Free Crafts. And the yarn for the day is green, so that will go nicely with like the blue and the neutrally and then the green, so I can make some more squares. And like I said, I'm probably just gonna start grabbing yarn out of my bag because I just have all the yarns basically in a bag since they've pretty much all been picked for previous days. So just try and use up as much as I can. I did use up a couple of scraps yesterday, so when I made, which one was the 4th? Or the 4th square I made. One of the squares I made yesterday did use up one of the balls, so I got rid of one. And then that orangey color that I had picked yesterday is almost gone, but I think I have enough to make like one more center, so I need to do that with that one. Because like I'm trying to use as much of each yarn as I possibly can. I also realized that I did not bring over the yarn that I had ordered, but I will show that tomorrow or something, so I don't want to have to get up and get it. So real quick, I will get out Mini Masquerade Pale Dawn and Cozy Winter Book Nook so we can see the starting points. I would like to try and do about 500 stitches into both of these projects tonight, but we will see what I can get done. I don't have anything else that I have to do tonight. I went to the store earlier and I did a curbside pickup order. There was no way I was going inside the grocery store. The parking lot was so incredibly busy. So I was like, curbside pickup, perfect. Here is the starting point for Mini Masquerade Pale Dawn. I'm going to be trying to do the stitches in this bottom here because the page 1 is almost done, and so I would like to get page 1 finished. This one is kind of harder to get stitches in on though, like it takes a little longer because it's not a gridded fabric, and because I dyed this fabric I don't really want to grid it with a washable pen, so it takes a little bit longer because I have to count and be very careful. This is on a 28 count 2/1 half cross. And Cozy Winter Book Nook, I will be working more in the window, which when I worked on this project earlier in the month, I was also working on the window. So let me get this piece of fabric figured out. There's a lot. So here's the one corner where I started, and then I worked over this way, and I am currently trying to fill in some of the window during the winter. So there is where I'll be working on this chart. This is on 25 count 2/1 half cross. And then also something that I've been doing, which I shouldn't do, is I have been, where is it? Oh, it's in here. I have been looking at fabrics that might possibly work for Dragon Race Into the Night, which is artwork by Rose Kahn, charted by Pain Free Crafts. And I've mentioned that I would really like to start that chart. And I have this piece of 28 count gridded fabric that is the appropriate size. So I am leaning closer towards eventually starting Dragon Race Into the Night because I do have the fabric and I have a full set of DMC. So that's a possibility of a new start. I just don't know when. Like I thought about doing a New Year's Eve start because a lot of people do New Year's Eve starts, and then I've also thought about doing my birthday starting it, but that's not until July. So I'm not sure yet when I'm going to start it, but I do have the fabric, and it's something that I would really like to get started so that I can, you know, start working on it, start making progress, and start enjoying, you know, the stitching of it. That is all for today. I will be back tomorrow, which is Christmas Eve, with my progress. I am back, and it is now the morning of Christmas Eve, and I just wanted to say a Merry Christmas to anyone. Well, first of all, this will be posted after Christmas, so Merry Christmas to everyone. Plus, I know that it's Christmas Eve here, but in other places that are ahead of me in time, it will be Christmas there. So yes, Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates. I hope you have a great one, and I'm looking forward to getting to work on my Flossmas project for today, because I have an idea what it will be based on what my family has picked in previous years when I've done the advent box. So first I will show you my progress on the charts yesterday. Yesterday I did Mini Masquerade Pale Dawn. I got right around 500 stitches, and then I switched. So here is, let me hold this out of the way. Here's my progress. I was filling in this bottom corner right here, and then right here is the bottom of page 1. And so I think page 1 is now almost done. There's a couple colors that I haven't done yet because they're mostly onto page 2, and so I haven't done those colors yet. But yeah, page 1, I'm gonna call it done. It's done, and I am excited. It's kind of annoying with this chart because there's not a lot of colors used. They actually all fit onto one floss card, all the colors. And there's so many light colors that it's kind of a pain to stitch some of the areas because it's just a lot of light colors that all look very similar. It also has a ton of the Krynic sparkly. I don't know if you can really tell, but there is a ton of Krynic sparkly in this chart, so that's not always super fun to stitch, but it looks pretty once it's stitched. And so I did my stitching on that one, and I'm gonna say this, I had briefly thought about making that one like a focus on a finished piece where I do like 200 stitches daily. I don't think I would, because I don't think I would enjoy stitching on a chart daily that uses the Krynic blending filament. Like if I had to stitch on that a lot, I wouldn't like it. I also think I should try eventually getting the, hold on, where is it? So I am currently using the Krynic, like the braid. It's like a thicker Krynic, but I know that they also, there is a brand that people will substitute instead of using the Krynic, and it is, I think, Petite Treasure Braid, and I have never tried that, so I should try getting some of that and seeing if it's better, because I've heard a lot of people say that the Petite Treasure Braid is better than the Krynic blending filament. Anyways, all right, I'm not even using the blending filament, I'm using the braid. I do have some of the blending filament, which is thinner than the braid, but I don't know exactly where it is. Anyways, Cozy Winter Book Nook. I also worked on that yesterday, and I did 500 stitches. It was like $4.97. And I filled in some of the lighter blue color that's in the window, and then I also did a little bit more of the colors that go up here. And it's really fun to stitch on it, but as I've mentioned a lot of times, it takes forever to actually see progress. Like, I feel like I could be working on this window forever and not actually get any details filled in, but it is fine. I love working on it. I love the colors. It's a great chart. And so that was my stitching yesterday. I also made 2 squares yesterday, and I found 3 squares. So I was like moving all of my stuff around, and I found 3 more that I have made in December. So that means that I currently have 35 of the squares made. So I'm not as far behind as I thought that I was. So I will just, you know, keep making squares. And I also need to figure out how big I want this blanket to be, because I've made 35 squares in December, but I have squares that I've been making for the last couple of years, and so I need to see how many I have, and then I need to figure out how big I want the blanket to be so that I know exactly how many squares that I need. Anyways, I'm gonna pick my project for today. It's the last box, the 24th. Yay! So we are going to pick this box and see what my project is. And like I said, I have a guess because my family has done the advent box for me before and they put in a chart just based on the name, and yes, Santa's on his way because it is Christmas Eve and Santa is on his way. So that is from Charting Creations. I already pulled the bag out because I was fairly sure that it was going to end up being this chart. So here is Santa's on his way, and I will continue working on the reindeer right here, trying to do 500 stitches today, which hopefully won't be too hard because my plans for today is we are staying home. We are making a like turkey dinner with like mashed potatoes and all the stuff, but that's all we're doing, and we are gonna watch Christmas movies, a lot of Christmas movies, because we still have not watched Christmas Vacation, Christmas Story. One Magic Christmas is one of my favorites. It's an older Christmas movie and I love it. So there's those three, and then I feel like there's a few others that we haven't watched yet. So the plan is Christmas movies all day and stitching. I mean, they're not gonna stitch, but I'm gonna stitch. And then the yarn for today is this ball of a brown yarn, so I will use that with some of the other colors that I have already picked. And then I was also really quickly going to show a couple things. So the yarn that I got for my border color is this. It's the Knit Picks brand Mighty Stitch. I have never used this fingering weight yarn, but it feels very nice. It is a super wash because I wanted something that can easily be washed since it's a blanket. And the color is Chocolate Heather, which I really like. I feel like this is a good neutral. They did have some grays, but I didn't want anything that was like too gray, and so I'm hoping that this will like go well with most of the colors that I've been using. And then the hook, I was going to mention the brand. So this was the hook I had gotten, and I am enjoying it, and it is Aura brand. So right here, if it will focus. It tries to focus on my face. That's the problem. So I don't know if it's going to, but it's an Aura brand hook, and it was from crochet.com. So that's what it is if you are looking for any type of hook or anything like that. And like I said, it's just pretty. I usually just buy like the basic hooks from Michael's and stuff like that, but I was just like, since I've been using this hook to make squares for so long, and I will probably be making a lot more squares plus having to like assemble the blanket, then I was like, I should invest in a hook that I really enjoy. So there's that. Anyways, I was also going to mention New Start. I was talking about Dragon Race Into the Night. I think I am going to start it possibly tonight or tomorrow. I was thinking about it and I was like, I've had this chart. I bought it at around the same time that I got Cozy Winter Book Nook, because that is the time that RoseCon stuff started to come out with Pain-Free Crafts. And so I've had the chart for probably almost 2 years now, I think. So probably like, I know it's been over a year and a half. And I love it. I have loved it the entire time. And so I feel like it's time to just get it started. And yes, it would be nice to have less whips and have more things finished, but that's going to take me such a long time because so many of my things are large charts. So I'm just gonna do it. I already have the fabric, I already have the chart, I already have floss, and so it's kind of like, why not? And I know that this is a chart that I'm not going to like randomly quit, because I'm not like impulsively buying a chart and then starting it and then realizing later like, oh, I don't like this chart. I have liked this chart for a long time. I had actually bought it from Heaven and Earth Designs many years ago, like probably like 2020, 2021-ish, somewhere around there. I've owned the chart for a long time, so I think I'm gonna start it. So at the end of this video, you might see a start. I think my plan is do my 500 stitches into Santa's on his way and then New Start. So yeah, I will be back tomorrow or possibly tonight. I will probably come back whenever I do my new start just to be like, yay, because it's been almost a year since I've started anything. My last new start was at the end of December of 2024 when I started the Haid 2025 stitch along, and so to me I am really excited because I haven't had a new start in a while. So yeah, but yeah, I'll be back whenever I have something else to show, and I will see you all then. I am back and it is 500 stitches later and it is currently Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates. I did my 500 stitches yesterday on the reindeer. I was really trying to fill in more of its head neck area, so I did some of it right here where the furry stuff is, and then a little bit more of the head, and then I decided I was going to have a new start because why not? Like, I thought about doing the new start on New Year's Eve, and then I was just like, if I do it on New Year's Eve, then it's the end of like Christmas break. But if I start it now, we're at the beginning of my kids' winter break, so then that gives me more time to work on it, you know, during the break and just, you know, before the new year. So I decided to start it, and I started Dragon Race Into the Night, yay! Which is artwork by Rose Kahn, charted by Pain Free Crafts. I also have the version from Heaven and Earth Designs, but my version from Heaven and Earth Designs is a max color. I don't want to stitch a max color. So yeah, here is my starting point, or what I've got done. I have done, I think it's like 700 stitches, and I've been actually filling in the areas as I work down. I think I'm going to try and keep working down because I want to get to like the tree that is in this area. And I was thinking about kind of doing this like puzzly where like I work around the outside going like down and then also across the top, and then that way I can work on different areas because the sky here is light and then it goes over to like the darker side, and then there's dragons and castles and so much fun stuff. So I am looking forward to continuing to stitch on this. This is on a 28 count 2/1 half cross, and yeah, like I said, I just use this fabric because I had it. I don't know exactly what I had ordered it for, but it was there sitting around, so I figured it was perfect. For granny squares, I only made one square, which, you know, kind of sad, but I just wanted to work on my new start. Plus I still had a few things to wrap last minute. So that is all though for my crafting, and yeah, it, like I said, it's currently Christmas. I've been up since like 6:30. It is currently 10:30, and my kids, they woke up, opened presents, and then 2 of them went back to sleep. They were like, oh, this was fun, it was great, and then now they're sleeping because, you know, they're teenagers almost. Okay, one of them's a teenager, one of them's almost a teenager. Anyways, that's all that I have for this video. I will be back probably in the next week or so with another video. I think my plans coming up, I'm going to keep working on Dragon Race Into the Night, you know, new start. It's fun to keep working on it. I also think that for daily stitching right now, until the end of the year at least, I'm not sure what my plans are for next year. I haven't got that far, but I think for daily stitching, I might start doing daily stitching on Cozy Winter Book Nook, and I don't know how many stitches I want to do yet a day, like at least 200, possibly like 300 or 400 stitches a day, and just try and make some more progress on this piece because, you know, it's very big. This is artwork by Rose Kahn too, charted by Pain Free Crafts, so as you can tell, I really like the Rose Kahn's artwork. It's very like bright, colorful, lots of details, lots of things, so yeah. That's what I'll be working on in my next video if you want to see updates on those pieces. I hope everyone is having a Merry Christmas if you celebrate, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!